Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, I want to talk about something that was brought to my attention during the live chat. Now, I don't know if this is brand new news or if it's just a rehash of old news or whatever, but it seems some people in my chat tonight were under the impression that there's been some new edicts regarding forced reset triggers. As you probably know, the ATF has been getting all hot and heavy over things like forced reset triggers, binary triggers, 80%ers, etc. lately. And they've been shutting people down. Shutting down manufacturers, shutting down retailers. They've been going in and seizing stock. They've been posting public letters, if you've got these, they're illegal, that kind of thing. And someone in my chat tonight even said that they've gone so far now to say, if you've got one of those forced reset triggers, not only do you have to destroy it, but you have to videotape yourself destroying it or take pictures of it after it's been destroyed so that you can prove that you destroyed it when they come looking for you. And that was the part they were worried about, is the come looking for you part. Because people start worrying about things like that. When they see something that, I bought this, it was legal when I bought it, like pistol braces, etc. Another one of the things they've been going after lately. And now they're telling me if I have it, I'm a criminal. Are they going to come to my house and hold me accountable, take me in? Well, I want to assure people out there that even though that is a possibility, I really wouldn't worry about it. It's not likely. Usually when things like this happen, the ATF goes after the manufacturers, the retailers, and then they'll post some public letter about these are now illegal. And sometimes they'll even do buybacks. But as far as them saying you have to destroy it, and if you don't destroy it, you don't have pictures, we're going to come get you, just not very likely to happen for multiple reasons. One, it's a total waste of time and money. It would be so expensive. It would take up so much time of the agents. It would not be worth it, especially if it's something that sold thousands of items. If they sold 10, that might be something different. But if it's something like 80%ers, forced reset triggers, where I'm betting they sold thousands, if not tens of thousands of each of those things, they're not going to go house to house. They're not going to be looking like, even when they seize records, they usually seize those records so that they can send you a letter. They're not usually going to come to your house. But a lot of people worry about that. They said, what would you do tonight? If you had one of these forced reset triggers, what would you do? Because now they've got this letter that says you have to destroy it and you have to have pictures of destroying it. First off, I'm going to say I could not find any information on that. I don't know where that's coming from. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, just means I couldn't find it when I looked. But let's say it does exist. They were saying, what would you do? Well, first off, I want to tell y'all, don't do what I would do. Don't take advice from me. I don't know if you've noticed this over the years, but I'm kind of an idiot. A little bit of a moron. So don't base your judgment on me or my advice on something like this, because I tend to be obstinate and stupid. But I will tell you that if I paid for something like one of these forced reset triggers, which aren't cheap, or an 80%er that was legal when I bought it, the government is not going to just have me destroy it. Until they came to my door and wrote me a check for what I paid for them, they're in for a fight if they try to take it. Not a physical fight, but a legal one. If they came to my house and without reimbursement tried to destroy or seize property that I bought legally, I would welcome that in a way, because I'd be like, here's my chance to stick it to the government and the ATF. And that's another reason why they really don't do things like this, why they don't go house to house, because they would face 500 lawsuits or whatever on the same topic. Maybe a class action. And they don't want the hassle of that. But most importantly, they don't like it when laws like this get brought into the limelight and actually see their day in court. When they write laws like this, they're more than happy to just go after, or they make decisions. These are not really laws. These are just interpretations. They would rather just go after the manufacturers and the distributors and then just be like, woo, we had a big victory. And then let those people work it out in court if they want to. And it's a lot harder for them to work through the courts being given the permission to make something that the ATF said they haven't. It's a little harder. So the ATF isn't worried about that. And plus, it'll be far more limited number of lawsuits. But they don't like it when the law itself is in the limelight and, like I said, being challenged by lots and lots of people. because then there's a chance that law will get overturned and they won't have that in their little playbook of things they can throw at you when they charge you with stuff. And that's really probably what would happen if you actually owned one of these and you didn't destroy it. They're never going to come looking for it. But if you used it in an illegal act, it'd be one more charge they could throw against you. So don't do anything illegal and you should be okay. Because like I said, they don't want the scrutiny of the laws or the decisions or the interpretations, because they don't want a day in court. They don't want to be in front of people, where people are paying attention to what they're saying, what the laws they're interpreting. Hey, they don't even like to be in front of a court saying, yeah, we're writing new laws through new interpretations, because the court is like, that's the job of Congress, not you. So they kind of like to keep it out of court if they can, except for the big manufacturers where no one feels sorry for them. Those they're more than happy to go after distributors. Like I say, once they stop the flow of them, they're kind of happy. They're okay with some of them being out there. They don't feel like they got to go clean them all up. Because here's the reality, and you can ask any ATF agent this, they know there's tons of illegal firearms out there, or firearms that are not in compliance with the law. They know there are automatic firearms out there that are not in compliance. They know there are shotguns that are too short. They know there are rifles that are too short. They know there are a lot of non-compliant firearms out there. And they don't go out there and try to get all of them because it's not worth their time. It's not worth the effort. If someone commits a crime with one, they'll charge them with the crime they commit, and they'll throw the other stuff like in possession of a non-compliant firearm on top of it, so that they got 15 or 16 charges they can charge you with, so that you'll eventually plea bargain. But as far as actually going after them, they just don't. I know people hear the stories like, oh, this guy went to the range and he pulled the trigger and he had something go wrong with his gun and it fired 3 times, and next thing he knew, the ATF was at his house. Those are usually snippets of real stories, but they're never really the whole story. I read that there was actually a story like that a long time ago in the news. And at first it was like he just had a malfunction and now he's in prison because of a malfunction. Well, it turned out it wasn't because of a malfunction. Because when you really start thinking about it, you're like, it happened once at a range? Who called the ATF? Turns out he was being watched by the ATF because they knew he was jimmying guns to where they would be non-compliant. So they watched him at the range, and when he had one that went shot full auto, they used that as an excuse to get a warrant, raid his house, find a lot of other non-compliant stuff and a lot of things he'd been doing that they suspected he was doing, and then they arrested him, and they just threw all the charges on top. It was not a case of, just this innocent guy had 3 things go off. Now, I'm not saying I think anything he was doing should have been illegal. You know me, I don't believe in gun laws, period. I believe gun ownership is one of our most fundamental rights in this country, and it's one of the most important things to our way of life. So I don't believe in any of these laws. I think if you're out of prison, you should be able to have whatever gun you want, whenever you want it. If you can afford it, you should be able to have it. If it's anything a single soldier can carry into battle, I think you should be able to own it as a citizen. Because someday you might be a citizen soldier trying to take back our country from like big corporations, multinational conglomerates, whatever. So I'm a firm believer in no gun laws. But, in some ways, I'm kind of glad the ATF is going after things like this. I'm glad they got things like force reset triggers, binary triggers, 80%ers to keep them busy so that they can make it look like they're actually doing something and justify their existence. That low-hanging fruit. Because while they're doing this stuff, they're not really taking away more essential rights as far as I'm concerned. This is keeping them occupied and, like I said, giving them stuff to say, look what we did. And that's mainly what all their work is about. It's about saying, look what we did, so they can justify their existence. And they can scare people and pump up the fear in people. That's mainly what they exist for. And I'm not saying I wish these things would be illegal or I'm glad they're being illegal. I think they should all be legal. And I love entrepreneurs who make things like these forced reset triggers. I think they're awesome. I don't really have a lot of use for one. I'm not much of an AR guy. But I love them. And I wish the ATF would leave them alone. But the very fact that they are attracting all the ATF's attention and keeping them busy. It's almost like they are sacrificing themselves for the greater good. And hopefully, eventually, we'll get enough of our gun rights back that their sacrifice will pay off, and those things will be overturned too, and they'll get their ability to manufacture and sell back. And it's a shame. I hate it that they are suffering financially. But, like I said, I would rather it be they going after force reset triggers than standard capacity magazines or semi-automatic rifles or semi-automatic handguns. I'm glad they're occupied with these other things. Like I said, though, doesn't mean I think they should go away. I think all these things should be perfectly legal. But the whole point of this video was, are they going to come looking for you? Do you have to worry? Probably not. Like I said, they don't have the time, the money, or the desire to come after you as an individual unless you commit a crime and you have that item in your possession, even if it's in your home and they come and search your home. That's another charge they can throw at you. But if you stay a legal, law-abiding citizen your whole life, other than, having that nasty material the ATF said you couldn't have, they're never even going to know you have it. Beyond sending you a letter, they're never even going to care or do anything about it. It's just the way it is. It's how it works. Like I said, you could be a special case. You could be someone that they've been looking at for a while, and now they see your name on a list of, hi, bought a force reset trigger. Now we got a reason to go look at his house. But as long as you're not someone who's on the radar of the ATF or the FBI, you're probably going to be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. Let the manufacturers and the retailers fight this out in the court, and let's all hope they win. But like I said, right now we can just look on the bright side that this stuff is occupying the ATF instead of it being more serious things. And as far as worrying about your own safety, like I said, don't break the law. I think you'll be fine. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I do appreciate you coming, and I hope you come back again on Monday. Until then, I want to remind everyone out there to always carry, even if the ATF doesn't like what you're carrying. As far as I'm concerned, your biggest responsibility is to be safe. Protect yourself and your family. So if you got it and you need it, carry it and stay safe until I see you again.